Hello, my name is Joe Garza. This presentation will cover the nervous system, its organ classifications, sensory and motor function, and lastly, involuntary and voluntary. The nervous system primarily functions to detect change, make decisions, stimulate responses in muscle and glands. The nervous system is split into two sections. The central nervous system is also short for CNS. The CNS houses the brain and spinal cord. We also have the peripheral nervous system known as PNS. The organs of PNS are the cranial and spinal nerves. The CNS has properties to function, but without the PNS connecting the brain and spinal cord to the rest of the body, its functions would be useless. On to the functions of the organs. First is the brain. It's the biggest and most complex organ in the CNS and PNS. The brain is the center of muscle movement, coordination, and mental functions such as memory, thoughts, reasoning, and personality. Brain is also controls sensational function, perception, movement, and thinking. Onto the spinal cord. It is the large column-shaped formed of nervous tissue in the center of the vertebrae called vertebral foramen. The spinal cord continues within the brain and brainstem. Spinal column functions to center spinal reflexes and serves as a pathway for impulses to and from the brain. The cranial nerve in the PNS arises from the brain. It has 12 nerves on the underside of the brain. Some nerves are sensory, some are mostly motor, most are mixed, which means contains both sensory and motor. The spinal nerves originate from the spinal cord, all except the first pair, which aren't mixed nerves. Within the PNS, it also has its own division, called the autonomic and somatic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system transmits involuntary commands from the CNS to smooth muscle and cardiac muscle and glands. The somatic system transmits voluntary instructions to the skeletal muscles. Sensory muscles receive information by detecting change and conducting impulses into the brain and spinal cord. Examples are dorsal posterior root. The motor function is to conduct impulses to the glands and muscles where decisions are acted on and controls skeletal muscle contraction. I've been talking for a while and you're probably wondering what voluntary and involuntary means, so now it's their time to shine. Voluntary is a conscious movement and is only in the skeletal muscles contraction. Examples of voluntary movements are movements that the body doesn't need to survive, that we choose, such as waving as a form of greeting or writing on a paper. Involuntary movements are contractions in the smooth and cardiac muscles that are performed without consciousness to maintain homeostasis. Examples are things our body does without us deciding, like sweating, heartbeats. This will be all for today's lesson. Thank you for watching.